Dreaming about Europe, yet confused where and how? Trust Education Foundation offers you with the best study destinations in Europe. Trust Education Foundation. Dream Europe, trust us.
Hello everyone, I'm Junaid from Trust Education Nepal, and today we are in Hamsta University in the campus with Stig and Kalyani. And first I will ask Stig to introduce himself.
Well, thank you, Junaid, for having us here. It's our, I believe, our first broadcast aimed for Nepal, so we are very excited about this. My name is Stig Pertu, and I work with admissions and recruitment and here at Hamsta University. I've been doing so for quite a few years now, so maybe we have met somewhere, or maybe we have met on the social medias. But I'm very much looking forward to this.
Thank you, Stig. Thank you, Junaid, for the opportunity. I'm Kalyani Pillalamari. I'm working at Hamsta University as an international student coordinator at the School of Business, Engineering and Natural Science.
Mm. So are you working with international students as well?
I work with international students.
Mm-hmm.
I help them, I support international students before, during and after their studies here in the university. And I support them for their education, especially. Also like general support system, you can say.
Mm-hmm. We have some Nepali student this year in Hamsta.
Yes, I think this year was the first time that we got bigger number of. There are not that many yet, but still there was an increase this year. Was.
So what do you think, Stig, that why a student should choose Hamsta University for his career and for his educational?
I mean, there are many reasons. I mean, first of all, we have a very high quality education. That's the main obvious main reason. But I mean, there are many things to consider when you're choosing where to study. I mean, there are many countries in the world and many universities in the world. But one of our advantages, I believe, is first of all, we are in Sweden. We are English-speaking country. English is you can use English everywhere.
I have read somewhere that Sweden is at first as English as a second language.
Yeah, I find it hard to believe that there are any other country where English is widely spoken. So coming here, it's very easy. I mean, even outside the university, you speak English to everyone. And also Sweden, I mean, we are, as you may know, we are up in the north of Europe, and we are usually when it comes to polls, like the most satisfied citizens, the best place to live, Sweden usually ranks very high in all of these competitions. So the quality of life is here, not only the academic standards. And then if you look at Halmstad itself, the city, it's a small city. I know many of you coming from big busy cities in Southeast Asia, and the calmness. I mean, I just came back from Dhaka, and it's just challenging. Let's say challenging. And these kind of problems you will not have in Halmstad. We don't have traffic jams, so you will move around between the university and the place you live and the city center very, very easily.
And it is also because we use a lot of bikes here.
Yeah, we use a lot of bikes, so the quality of life.
The nearest big city is Göteborg here, like Gothenburg. Basically, there is some different accents as well. We call it Göteborg, but when English we read it Gothenburg.
Yeah. And and the biggest is actually Copenhagen in Denmark, the capital there. So it's but another thing is Sweden is a rather open country, rather welcoming country. I mean, there are problems everywhere in the world, but I think there is less problem in Sweden compared to other countries. So you will be, you will feel welcome. I mean, Swedes are rather open-minded and welcoming. A bit shy, you have to work on it, but then they will open up. So yeah, that's another thing. And let's see, one more. Yeah, well, Sweden is a very entrepreneurial, innovative country. This is something that sort of is part of all our programs, whatever it is. Sweden, there are a lot of Swedish brands. You maybe not necessarily know them as Swedish brands, but they are Swedish brands. And being a country with a rather small population, we have a surprisingly big number of international companies. And that is due to the fact that we are entrepreneurial, innovative. And that you will learn.
The Halmstad University degree programs, do they have any collaboration or opportunity to work of their thesis in a real companies?
Now we have new projects going on in the university, especially collaborated with the programs, and we also have a program for international students, which is employability program. We call it a SEEP program, SEEP. And apart from that, most of our thesis have to be connected to the companies. Only in that case, it's called a thesis. All the master programs, they have to work closely with companies. Only in that case, a student can finish the thesis.
And Halmstad University was awarded by some industrial organization as being the best university in collaboration with yeah.
So what I understood is that if a student studied in the last semester thesis, he has a very high chance to work with a real-time organization, that how they work. And
most of the students, and it is only possible to finish a master thesis if they are collaborating with the company, because for each thesis, each subject, we need to have a data, and we only need to get this real-time data from a company. So it is must that the student have to connect with the companies.
Okay. That's good. And is there any courses, short courses, 6 months or 1 year available?
Well, I mean, the majority of what we have to offer is master programs, 1 or 2 years. We have, for this spring semester now, January, a 1 semester course in network security. And for the autumn semester, we have another 1 semester course called Media and Communication. I know that some students from Nepal started this program last intake. But apart from that, there are a number of 1 or 2 year programs.
So is it possible that if you start a program of 2 years and after 1 semester you think that, oh, if I take it for 1 year, because there are some possibility of 1 year programs as well?
Well, I mean, the programs are either 1 or 2 year. So the master program in mechanical engineering is 1 year, and let's say international marketing is 2 year. So yeah, it's either
1 year or 2 years.
But actually, to confuse it a little bit, some of the master program, and okay, I can mention them by name, that is international marketing,
Industrial innovation
and strategic leadership. These are 2 year master programs, but it's possible to study for 1 year. But it's important that when you apply, it is a 2 year master program, and you will be admitted to a 2 year master program, and you have to show the funds for a 2 year master program. But then when you arrive in Halmstad, the professors will ask if there is an interest to convert to a 1 year master program. So that is something that will be decided later on while you are in Halmstad. Yeah.
During your first semester, when you're in Halmstad, you will have to decide if the student wanted to study 1 year or 2 years.
Mhm. And as we have a couple of students from Nepal, is there any highly recommended things? Like, as I know already that there is a big problem of accommodation. Students don't take it serious, especially when they are coming from our countries, like all the Asia.
Mm.
So is it same like Nepal that, okay, if you have contacts, you can find accommodation when you are here, or you have to pre-book?
For students here at Hampstead University, only for the students, of course, we have our student union working on our accommodations, and the emails or the information regarding the accommodations is sent to the students directly in the month of May, June, and the students have to apply it. But if a student is coming with a family, of course, we are not responsible for it. They are responsible. If they have, like you said, when if there is a student who have contacts here in Hampstead, then it is up to them to decide. But we will not help any family members.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So,
Only the students.
I really want to emphasize
Emphasize.
this. We provide student accommodation, not family accommodation. We have several families coming here, but they will have to provide this by themselves, and usually by using uh, asking the students already here. There are several Facebook groups where you can talk to students already here in Halmstad or in Sweden. But it's very, very important, and you cannot come here without any places to live.
It is impossible
yeah.
to live here if you come down directly, because even we cannot help those students who are coming here without the accommodations.
Yeah.
On the spot, we cannot give them any accommodations. It is not practically possible.
Yeah, and there are no cheap hostels. I mean, it doesn't exist in Sweden. It's the housing market is very much regulated. So even though I mean, you either accept the offerings from the student union, you find something, or you find something by yourself, like, I don't know, Airbnb, stuff like that, or contacts, or you stay in an international hotel costing at least 150 pounds a day, 100 pounds a day, or 100 euros a day. So be aware of this. But I mean, we will help you with a student accommodation. So, but yeah, that is what we can offer, and that is what you can get. And we have hundreds of students coming every year. So
But some of the students who are having families, they actually don't come with the families because there are no accommodations right now available. So what they do is a student will come here, they live in student accommodations, and then they will try to find any contacts and any other accommodations. After a few months, they will invite their family members to Sweden. That is a practical way.
So, I mean, it is the accommodation is a bit of a problem at any Swedish universities, wherever you decide to study. The situation is pretty tough everywhere. I don't think it's worse in Halmstad than other places. But you have to sort of follow the information or the instructions that we give you as a student, and we will inform you when it's time to apply for accommodation. But just please don't think you can only arrive here and expect someone to help you. That will probably not happen.
So the thing is, if you are planning to come to Halmstad University, you have to pre-book your accommodation and try to fix it before coming. And as Kalyani recommended, that if you are coming with your family, one of the best execution is first you come by your own, live here in a student apartment by the university, and try to find a family accommodation, and then invite your family.
Yeah.
And, okay. So.
And I can say, yeah, that is because I mean, the studies will take all of your time in the beginning. So if you have to look for accommodation, it's too much stress, and you will probably not perform well in the studies. Maybe you even will fail completely. So don't waste your sort of money, the investment, and there will be no problem for your spouse and children if you have them to arrive later on. They will. I mean, as long as you apply for the visa and have the visa, you don't have to go there at the same time. You will have no problem at the immigration if they come later. So you shouldn't worry about
And
that.
if a student is applying for Halmstad University, is there any scholarship available for them?
Yes, we have a Hampstead University scholarship that covers part of the tuition fees, like 25% or 50% of the whole tuition fees. And the information of the scholarship will be sent directly to the student through email in the month of March.
Mm. And the other scholarship is offered by something called the Swedish Institute.
SI scholarship.
Yes.
Yeah,
SI
SI Scholar. You can Google the Swedish Institute and scholarships, and you will find information on this. This is a full scholarship covering all costs.
All
But
the
it's-
tuition fees as well as
Yeah,
the living
travels
expenses.
and living expenses, and but very, very hard to get. So
Yeah, but the results will be displayed in April.
yeah, the SI scholarship will be announced
Yes.
in April, and
First results will be announced in April. But,
No, but for Halmstad scholarship, if you are asking to apply for Halmstad scholarship in March, student is not sure either he's going to be admitted or not until May.
no, you only get the result of the scholarship during the admission process. I mean, in the month of April, when the notification of selection results are
So,
out. Only
yeah.
after that.
so once you're admitted, you will know. I mean, if you have the Halmstad scholarship or the SI scholarship, and you will know before the first payment of the invoice. So before you have to pay the invoice, you know if you have a scholarship or not.
So it means the student has to apply before the display of first notification.
Yeah, even
Oh, yeah,
SI
yeah, yeah.
scholarships, the students have to apply in February 2nd to February 9th.
Yeah.
So it is before the admission results, the students have to apply, but they will get the result of the scholarship after the admission results.
And I mean, there will be a lot of information, a lot of dates, a lot of deadlines during this presentation. But as soon as you have applied for a course or a program at Halmstad University, we will on a regular basis contact you and tell you, now it's time to pay the application fee. Now it's a deadline for uploading documents to apply for the SI scholarship and so on. So don't worry, we will let you know. We will inform you along the way.
Only thing is the students need to keep track of the emails, check them very often, because everything, like we have certain deadlines in January, February, March, April. So all of them, they receive the emails from our university. So they have to keep track of the emails very often.
And normally in our countries, we are not very much comfortable with emails.
Yes,
and
we know. We know.
So that's why we always recommend that if you are coming through us, like Nepal, you can visit our office and then you can get all the informations in 1 hour session. It's almost impossible to explain each detail about the dates and the procedure and everything. So if you will come at a Trust Education office, we will explain you all these things. And I think there is a question also. I can't read it from here.
No.
How should I?
Yeah, maybe I can find it. Yeah, just if you have questions, just write them in the commentary field, and we will try to help you.
Yeah, as much as possible. And if a student is coming, which airport is the nearest one?
I mean, flying to Halmstad, I mean, there is Copenhagen for sure in Denmark. You can come through Stockholm, but it's less connections, probably a little bit more expensive. So flying into Copenhagen with, I don't know, Turkish or Qatar or Emirates, and then from the airport in Copenhagen, there is a train all the way to Halmstad University. So it's very, very convenient. Yeah. And I can say also, if you have used our service, I mean, we have a pickup service. So when you choose an accommodation that the student union provides. There is also, you can also sign up for the pickup service. So as long as you inform the student union the time of your arrival, then when you arrive with the train from Copenhagen to the Halmstad railway station, they will pick you up in their cars and take you to the place where you're gonna stay. So you should use this service,
Yeah.
but you have to inform them when you're coming, and if there are some delays or whatever, you have to inform them, because they will be at the station when you have told them you're expected to arrive. So it's very especially important if you arrive in the evenings or the weekends, because in Sweden we have different office hours. Maybe then we close, we go home at 5 or 6 in the evening, and then it's closed. So you have to let them know if you arrive later, so they can be there.
And to be clear, the pickup service is from Halmstad train station, bus station, or airport to the accommodations.
Do Halmstad has airport?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the small one. Yes.
Yeah.
I think only for domestic flights.
Yes.
Yeah, to Stockholm. But if you fly into Stockholm, it's also very much possible. But then to fly onward to Halmstad, you have to transfer, change airport in Stockholm. So it's very inconvenient. So yeah, Copenhagen.
Copenhagen is the best
Yeah,
option to come, and as far I know that in Copenhagen there is an airport, and you just have to come stair down, and
Yes.
there's a
Yeah.
train station.
Yes.
It's very easy and convenient.
And one more suggestion to the students is I would always suggest the students to arrive between early morning 4 to midnight 10:30, 11, not later than that, because the transit trains from Denmark to Sweden, they do not work in the midnight from
No.
12 to 4.
Yeah, you have to keep track on that. So yeah, it's some days they stop even earlier. So I think 9 in the evening.
Is a
Before
better,
that,
yeah.
I know there are some buses, but yeah, you have to check that. And if you have, we can help you, try to help you, and give you the schedules. If you, we have a Facebook group where you can ask these questions.
Yes.
It's
Yeah,
good.
so the best is working days between 9 and 5 or 9
Yeah.
and 6.
Yeah.
Now this is the best timing and the days to come and
Yes.
so you can come to the
But it's
Halmstad.
possible but you must inform us. Yeah, you
And
must.
we will also give information about the transportation of trains and buses in the emails later in July and
Mhm.
August. Yeah.
So the
From the
student will,
university. Yes, they will
and
receive
like
it.
in our countries, we have different kind of food and everything. Does it available here in this city as
In
well?
Hampstead, yes, all the Asian, we have a lot of Asian boutiques here, and a lot of food, spices.
Yeah, boutique means
vegetables.
shops.
Yes.
Yeah, because,
I'm also talking about the restaurants.
Because in English, in our country,
Yes,
English
yes.
boutique means cloth shops
No,
only.
I'm
Okay.
talking about restaurants.
No, but I mean, we have a rather big community of maybe not Nepal, but from India, Bangladesh, Pakistan. So, I mean, if you eat their food, I mean, you will find it here. There are several small shops.
That's almost the same food. It's
Yeah.
almost the same food.
So, yeah.
And most of the students have to cook. Usually, that's the better option
Yeah.
to live.
Not a better option, but the only option.
Yeah.
No, you can buy the food. Indian food is available in the stores now.
But for students, I think it might be
Yes,
expensive.
that's why the better option is to cook food, and even to cook food, you get all the spices, Asian spices,
And I mean, cooking facilities is available in the accommodation the student union provide. So maybe you're used to go to the canteens where you live and so on. You will not do this. I mean, that's a big change. You will have to cook, and if you can't, you will learn. And also, I mean, I think it's a social thing. We cook together, you meet friends, and so on.
lot of the students, they live together to share the expenses, so it will be cheaper, affordable for them to live. And also most of the students, they share the food, they cook together. So that is the easy way, like to organize a week
Turn by
schedule.
turn. Aha,
Exactly.
okay.
Because everyone will be studying at the same time, so it's better to organize well. So most of the students, they cook together, they live together.
And I mean, Sweden is a high-cost country, for sure. I mean, we're in Europe, and so the costs are much higher than where you're from. But when it comes to buying food in the grocery store, it's not that expensive.
No,
But when you go to the restaurant,
It
it's
is
very
expensive.
expensive. So everything that includes some sort of service, where like cooking, driving, taxi is very expensive, restaurants is expensive. But to buy food in a store,
it's not expensive. And,
I don't think so.
No, it's also like baggage of rice and everything. It's a big baggage, and it's cheaper than buying in small quantities. If you understand it.
Yeah, so it means that the recommendation to student is that you have to plan for a bigger slice of time,
Yes.
not day
Yeah.
by day.
Yeah.
If you want to eat rice, then better to have a big bag for a
Exactly.
couple of
Yeah.
weeks instead of everyday
But
shopping.
they will learn it just in one
Yeah.
month.
So you
Once
don't
they're
you don't need to bring noodles or
No.
some spices or it will only get you problem in the customs because it is available here. There are several Asian stores here in the area. So yeah.
Near to the Hotskola, we have Asian store, so it's easy for them to buy spices or vegetables.
Yeah, so the concept which is normally people think that, oh, small town is not good to live.
Everything
So
is
it means
accessible.
everything is available here. You have good accommodation, you have all the foods you want, you have good quality of education, and so you have everything. And it's a coast city. You have a sea just this like.
Yeah.
We have 3 beaches in house.
Yeah. I mean, I hear sometimes, or I follow some discussions on Facebook where they discuss the advantages of living in maybe the bigger city, Stockholm, still a small city compared to Asian standards, but the biggest in Sweden, or in a city like Halmstad. I mean, in a city like Stockholm, I mean, it has advantages when it comes to, I don't know, social activities like opera, music, concerts, theater, sports. Much more. It's a bigger city. It's natural. You can do that to some extent in Halmstad, or you just take the 1 hour train to Gothenburg or the 2 hour train to Copenhagen. You have this because, to be honest, I mean, you don't go to the opera every day anyway, because you will have to go to school, you will have to study, you will have to cook and hang out with your friends. And when it comes to career opportunities, it's true that the main offices are in Stockholm or Gothenburg, but
it is after your education.
after your studies. I mean, so in a way, living in a smaller city, could be better to.
But what I think is when international student is coming to Sweden, it doesn't matter if they're living in Stockholm or Halmstad, because the first semester during their education, they'll be so busy studying that they will not have time for any other activities, at least for one semester.
And then it's good. I mean, okay, would I like to spend 5 minutes to go to the university? 1 hour.
Yeah, in small cities, it's a big advantage that the university and all the things are quite easily approachable. And Halmstad city, you can travel all the city by bike. The bike means the cycle.
Yes,
Yeah.
No, it's a big advantage, and all the education standard is almost the same in all over the Sweden.
Yeah.
It's just different of the specializations. If you really want to study something very specific and you said, no, I want to do this and I don't find it.
One question we get now and then is, what about the ranking? And it is sure we have a number of very highly ranked universities in Sweden, top 150 maybe, several of them are from Sweden. And But I always suggest the applicants, don't look at the university. I mean, look at the program. I mean, a bad program is still bad, even though if it's another highly ranked university. So look at the program, and if that fits you, and well, there is some prestige in coming from a highly ranked university, but in the end, you want a good program that gives you a good career afterwards. So look at the program.
Yeah, programs and the contents which suits you.
Yeah.
That's a good suggestion, that instead of only following the big names, you have to see what suits you. Not always the best is best for you. Try to find the best match.
Yeah.
And I would also mention about the labs at Kathmandu University. They're so advanced, all of our labs, and our special lab is 3D lab, and then we also have electromagnetic lab. They're very famous here in Sweden. 3D lab is free for the students. They can create tiny nanoparticles using our 3D lab printing. So students from industrial management or the background of electronics or mechanical engineering, product development, they can use the labs for free. That is a bigger advantage here in the university.
And I think it's very rather new technology
Yes,
of 3D printing, and the future is of this 3D printing, because you don't have wastes, you don't have to like find the big scales and then cut it out. So it could be a very thing for the student who want to be more innovative and want to learn the more technology, up-to-date technology.
Yeah. But I mean, it's for all students. I mean, maybe you would think of the ones doing industrial management, but if you do Nordic welfare or
everyone can use it.
Yeah,
As a student, everyone can use the 3D lab. But if we want to be very specific, like if 3D printing is involved in the courses, it is mostly mechanical and industrial management that they have to use the 3D printing.
Okay, so what I understood is that everyone can experience this new technology.
Yes. And I mean, 3D printing is one part of it. This lab.
Yes.
And this is a collaboration between Halmstad University and is it MIT?
Yes, MIT.
MIT in US, and that is one of the absolutely best universities in the world. So they found it fruitful and useful to collaborate with Halmstad University, and that we are very happy for.
And is it possible for Halmstad students of this university that if they come here for a degree program and they want to study one semester any of other partner university in the world?
Yeah, I mean, we have a number of collaborations with universities all over the world, and there are certain rules to go abroad on an exchange. You have to have finished 60 credits at Halmstad University. So if you are studying a 2-year master program, then you can go on the second year, and then you just apply as any Swedish student would have done. You find a partner university. It could be, I don't know, US, Australia, wherever. And then we will do a selection, and if you are nominated, you can go there. There are some, it is very much possible, but then it might be some things that we have to overcome when it comes to visa. Let's say you're coming from Nepal, you have a visa to study in Sweden, and then you want to go to Australia. So we have to sort this out. But it's possible.
And there are some programs which have exchange courses in other countries. It depends on each program, what they are collaborated with. And it comes under elective courses. So the student can choose if they want to study in other countries or they want to stay back here in the same university, Halmstad University, to continue this.
So we have one, I mean, this exchange, you apply as an individual and you talk to the program director. Can I do this part in these countries? And then you decide.
And is there any scholarship available for second year?
Just let me finish.
Oh, okay.
And then we have a more formalized exchange where students from 3 master programs, they go to China and study for a short period of time. You can tell more about that.
Okay, we have 3 master programs where the students can choose to study in China. It's 2 courses that can be swapped, exchanged with the courses that we have here in the university, and it's mostly on business, exploring China, exploring business in China, and doing business in China.
Which city?
Shanghai.
Shanghai.
So we are collaborated with the Yanji University in China. And the 3 master programs are industrial innovation, strategic entrepreneurship, leadership, and marketing. So these 3 programs, students in the second year, in second learning period, you can say like right now, from October, November, December, 3 months, they can travel to China and they can study.
And we have a group there now at the moment.
Already, yes.
So, but the majority of the students, they decide to stay in Sweden because, they have decided to come here. But maybe they don't want to go to another country for studies, but almost all of them want to go to other countries for the vacation. So whenever the summer break or winter break is, they pack the bags and they go to Rome or Budapest.
Because they will get the Schengen visa. When they have a residence permit to Sweden, they can travel to EU countries within Europe, around 25 to 28 countries. They can travel for free without any visa.
Not travel for free.
Oh, not without visa. Yes.
Yeah, without visa. But
without
traveling within Europe doesn't really have to cost that much. There are tons of low-cost airlines, so with some planning, you can fly at very low cost.
Fly well in time.
Yes.
Yeah. But you said something about scholarships.
Second year scholarship.
Yeah. So we were before talking about the scholarships where you apply before the program starts, and if you're lucky, you have a scholarship for 50% for the full program. Unfortunately, not everyone can have a scholarship, but there is a second chance. Those right now we are having a scholarship call going on where those who started last intake August 2018 and didn't get a scholarship, they can apply for an extra call, a scholarship for the spring semester.
Only for 1 semester.
Yeah, so maybe 20 students that started the program without a scholarship, they will have a scholarship now for the spring semester.
And it's again from 20 to 50%.
Yeah, 25 to 50%.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
So minimum is 25% and maximum is 50%.
And this extra call of scholarship is, then we look at the performance here in Halmstad. So, I mean, there is a reason they didn't get the scholarship in the first place. We look at the grades and they weren't sufficient. But then, no matter the grades you have when you come back home, if you perform well in Halmstad and doing the courses, taking the credits, but also being active in the classroom, because we ask the professors for what's your opinion. So if you are a good, hardworking student that contributes to the classroom, you can get a scholarship.
If you are applying from your own country for a scholarship, how you can rank the things, that what is the first priority, the grades or the motivation letter or
the grades?
Purposes?
Yeah. The grades are the most important thing. It's not the only thing, but it's the grades. Now we're talking about the scholarship you have before you arrive.
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
So yeah, it is great because we have so many applications. So it all starts with us choosing a number of the students with high grades. Then we start to look at them, what countries. I mean, they should be from. There should be a geographical spread. what additional qualifications do they have, work experience, language proficiency, whatever. And then also we try to distribute them evenly among the programs. So it could be, if you're from India having this score, it will be enough for a scholarship in this program, but not in this program because we have other Indians with better grades. So
is it possible if a student is coming from Nepal, he can apply for more than one scholarships?
No. You apply for a scholarship, to Kathmandu University. Let's say you have applied for 4 different programs at Halmstad. You apply and you may be awarded a scholarship. We will give you a scholarship for the program you're being admitted to. So there's only one scholarship application, even if you have applied to 1, 2, 3, or 4 programs.
So you can only apply for one scholarship. You have to choose that and put it on your first priority.
No. I mean, it's 2 separate. You apply for 1 up to 4 programs, and those you rank 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then you apply for the scholarship. It is not for. I mean, it doesn't have to be for the first priority, but it's always. I mean, you have it as a first priority in the application because this is what you want to do. So, but no, I think I'm confusing it now. But one application for a scholarship.
And so what I like, for example, if a student has applied for 4 programs and he is admitted in second one,
Yes.
so he will apply scholarship for the second one, where he is admitted in.
He's just applying for the scholarship.
He only applies for a scholarship. If it is Kathmandu University scholarship, the application form, it only have the motivation, extra 3 questions, and then we have this motivation where you only need to have the application number, not the program.
Actually, I have to correct you there. You apply for the program. But okay, I give you an example. You have international marketing as a first priority, and strategic leadership as a second. So when you apply for the scholarship, you write the motivation, give us some data, but you also write the program. You choose in a drop-down list, and then you choose international marketing as your first priority. Then we do the selection, and then it might happen that you didn't get a seat on the international marketing because that's the most popular program. But instead, you got a seat on the second priority, strategic leadership. Then you will have the scholarship for the strategic leadership. If 1 month later we have some cancellation for the international marketing program, and then we realize, okay, we have to admit a few more. If we by then admit you, remove you from the strategic leadership to the international marketing, you take the scholarship with you. So don't worry about that. Yes, but we will give you this information. The scholarship application process is very simple.
Maybe I am asking a lot of questions about it, but it is the most most concerned question of the students. So what I understood is, if a student apply for 4 programs, for example, in Hamsta, and apply for a scholarship, then he has a very better chance to get a scholarship, because if there is any option, 1, 2, 3, 4, he will get a scholarship.
Yeah, I mean, of course, the chances of being admitted is bigger if you have 4 programs, and being admitted, I mean, if you're not admitted, you will not have a scholarship. But I really don't try to be too tactical. I mean, I'm gonna apply for this program because I have a better chances of getting a scholarship. It's very, very difficult to try to be this clever, because we don't know how the students apply and what other universities they apply to. It's all of a long, big chain that is can go in so many different ways. So you should really apply to the program you're interested in. not the one who you think you have best chance
to get the scholarship.
No, don't do that, because it is very, very hard to predict.
So if I precise all the session in just points, so if someone has joined later, he can understand that the first thing is, when you apply for the Hamsta University, must apply for accommodation. Don't try to take a chance to come here.
No, it will not work. You will end up, actually, literally, you will end up in the streets.
Yeah, and it's not fun to sleep in the streets here.
No.
Especially in January session, spring session, the weather is, you might be sleep in street and wake up in hospitals.
Yeah.
It's really very cold, very, very cold here.
Bring blankets.
Yeah, bring blankets. And if you are coming to Halmstad, the best option is to come through the Copenhagen airport.
Yes.
And if you are applying for autumn 2019, like September session, then when you apply for Halmstad, must take your chance for a scholarship. There is no guarantee of scholarship, but you have to try to apply for it. So if you have chance to get the scholarship.
Yeah, and you must apply on time. Otherwise, you will have very minimal chances of getting a scholarship. So please keep track of the deadline, January 15.
So be realistic. You have to be in time with the application, with the documents, with the application for the scholarship. Otherwise, to be rational, it is almost no chance to get scholarship, because there are a lot of already students who are in the queue who have applied in time, and they will get the priority for getting the scholarships.
And just to interrupt this a little bit, I mean, there are a lot of Facebook groups, there are a lot of communities where discuss certain things. One of those are settlements, work permits, and how it affects the status here. Be very cautious when you listen to this kind of people. That's why we collaborate with our partners, like your company in Nepal. So you must make sure you have the correct information. And there is a lot. There's a lot of incorrect information circulating out there, and there are lots of agents claiming to work for us who doesn't do it. So be aware. It's your choice, but make a good choice.
And for the Nepali students, I think they will have some chance to see you. If you want to unveil this secret.
Oh yes, I and you are coming to Kathmandu in January
5th, 6th, we are there.
Yeah, something. So we have a couple of days in Kathmandu. And
yeah. So guys, keep your horses, and if you have any, hold your horses. If you have any question and any detailed information about Hamsta University, me and Stig will be there 5th and 6th of January, like in a month, less than a month.
Yeah.
And then you can ask all your questions which you haven't asked today.
And a good thing is if you want us to some sort of review your documents, and we cannot give you a decision, but maybe a sort of a
assessment.
Assessment. Make an application and upload the documents, because it's much easier if while we meet, I can get all the data on my screen.
So do they have to pay application fee as well?
Not really, because
the last date is 2nd of February.
If you're not really sure, I want to follow through with an application. No, then you can just upload it, wait with the application fee until after our meeting.
So make your accounts, upload your documents. If you want to have assessment from STEG, then at least you have to have your login details at that time.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Steg.
Thank you.
And hopefully to see you guys in the start of January in Kathmandu at Education First. And thanks for the session. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Dreaming about Europe, yet confused where and how? Trust Education Foundation offers you with the best study destinations in Europe. Trust Education Foundation. Dream Europe, trust us.